let me just suggest one thing. We are going to show some stuff on those small screens. If you want to see it in detail, more than happy to see you closer here. So it's really, there's going to be a demo, so tiny little letters. I'm at the age which already kind of suggests, that you have to be closer to things. So come over, don't be shy. There are still seats here available, so it will be fun, I can tell you. Shall we start with the video?
Okay, you're ready.
我们希望向您解释接下来几分钟我们将要进行的工作。这将充满乐趣，尤其是我们完全不会说匈牙利语，我也不知道。然而你就会发现其中的应用。最后，每个人都会有一些笑亮器等待着他们。但在那之前呢，我想向您展示我们的产品，我们全新的产品。刚刚在2天前宣布的新产品，希望你会喜欢。我相信这将向你展示我们的数据优势预防与行为分析的结合的独特优势和巨大价值。大家好，再次衷心祝愿大家喜欢并度过愉快的时光，祝您度过愉快美好的体验，每天充满喜悦和满足。
As you can clearly know, we are not speaking Chinese in any way. Miroislav Bajgar here is our security expert. He resides in Czech Republic, 4 hours train ride from here. My name is Michał Jarski. I'm from Poland. Originally, we wanted to make this video in Hungarian, but decided that since Xi Jinping is in the town, and alternative versions were like Arabic, for example, or to maybe make it Portuguese. This video, as you can see, it's straight from our booth here in PROtACTION. It's just to show you one thing, is that it's so easy using the wonderful AI tools to do whatever you want, to fake anything. Probably the only identity protection that you see here in the floor is the Ubico, so I'm giving them a free advertisement right now. The identification protection, you can't trust to voice, to images, to things that you see, unless you can come and say, okay, hey, Mirek, you're here. I have absolutely no way of verifying that's his identity, or maybe someone trying to pretend it's Mirek. It's a very, very important thing, because when you realize the power of artificial intelligence, you want to do something for your own company, for your own data, to dig deeper, to get better productivity for your people. Ni hao. Ni hao. The theme for this session is data everywhere. And I really wanted to show you the Buzz Astral and Woody here. Data is everywhere. We are going to show you, and Mirek is going to probably entertain you better, because this is going to be the live demo of the solution, which we just announced during the RSA conference 2 days ago. So you are going to witness the first demonstration of the product. Fingers crossed, nothing comes wrong way. And I'm trying to also show you a little bit like a side picture, not just this particular product, but the whole context of the concept of data security everywhere. Data is everywhere. Data is both on your laptops, on your servers in your data center, in the cloud, on your mobile devices. It's everywhere, because this is what you want to give to your people in order for them to be productive, for your companies to be competitive on the market. You have to do it. Otherwise, they will either reject working for you, or they will be basically lower than the competition, and you will lose. And the same goes with AI tools which are working on this data. If you realize that people working from everywhere, using any device, if I ask you one question, can you say with 100% certainty that you know where your data is residing? You know where your data is processed? probably no one can say positively, yes, I know this. It has got consequences. And the consequences are that we are sharing information faster than we can secure information. We have to do it, but at the same, we are regulated. There are regulations like NIS2. Both Tamás this morning and then Gabor Hirsch from Thales was probably telling you a lot about NIS2, how to make things more under control, what are the timelines. We are really pressed right now. October this year, NIS2 and majority of the key companies in Hungary in the region are subject to NIS2. And overnight, if this thing happens, that's another live thing, I hope. Yeah, that's a live slide from Tamás' presentation. This is the timeline. This is what you have to do in order to demonstrate to the regulator that you are handling the risk in your organization in the best possible way. After 1 day, initial report, 3 days, deeper report, 30 days, 2 pages are not enough. You need to show the regulator, you need to show the auditor what is really happening, what has happened, who had access to information, who leaked it, in which way. You have to do it. And NIS2 is scary because this is a regulation which is attributing responsibility and financial consequences and consequences for maybe removing someone from managerial position in the company for a long period of time. You have to demonstrate it. Otherwise, these guys are basically going after you. Why we have this case of constant data leaks, despite deploying everything that is moving out there? You have on the display here firewalls, Rapid7 a second ago, about vulnerabilities. You have tools that are able to encrypt data, to make sure that your endpoints are secured. Why we still have those data leaks? The answer is very simple. We are suffering from a couple of very interesting symptoms. Number one is that the tools are enabled to understand the true value of the data. The automated tool doesn't know how your business is operating. Doesn't know if the data shared from HR department towards Mr. X in another department is a business process that is allowed, or maybe it's someone trying to leak this information out of the HR. Now think about it also from the angle of automated tools. There are so many initiatives right now with Microsoft Copilot. Give the Copilot full access to all your data, and it will enable streamlining of all the business analytics inside it. Now, who can guarantee that this kind of approach is not going to go out of the rails, of the guardrails, and protect the data, sensitive data, from being shared in unexpected way with someone else who shouldn't have access to this data? Security products are interpreting the data from very, very different angles. CM is doing it differently than the EDRs, identity access management doing it differently. You have to fix it all in your head. In your head, the more complex the organization is, the harder it is to do it. Then, they do not interact on the again, data value, information value level. They don't scale for intelligent interpretation of the information that you're actually processing. As the result, what you see is only the tip of the iceberg. You believe that there are certain processes in the organization, you believe that data is stored in a certain way, but in fact, all of this, gray IT, all of those kind of unofficial ways of exchanging information are bypassing the policies which you have in place. And you have things like, unknown data, backups which are stored somewhere in the corner, forgotten data, so-called rot data, redundant data, something that we were processing in the past, but it's set aside and someone forgets about it. If the data breach is happening, it's usually happening using this kind of forgotten, unknown, unseen information. Of course, there are questions about data residency. There are questions about where the actual processing is happening. even industries, very highly regulated industries like banking, are now going into the cloud. And the regulator is, of course, trying to push the responsibility for risk assessment and then the controls of the data where it's actually processed. If you are a little bit farther than just your own country, you are subject to different regulations in different countries. How you are going to match all of this together, how you're going to do it in a way that is comprehensible and controllable and manageable over time. Now, majority of the solutions are the ones that you are thinking about are usually focused on this area, on or like execution. You have secure web gateways, firewalls, ZTNA solutions, even DLP. This is what everybody's talking about. But actually where we should be focusing is first to understand the value of the information, the dependencies between information, the need of exchanging information between different business units, automated systems. It's not just humans, right? It's also automatons which are exchanging information. So all of this area, which is kind of still like a gray and not touched, people are not going there because they are a little afraid. It's looking very, very complex, right? Now, of course, AI comes to the play, and like on this cartoon that I've seen recently, which I really enjoyed, the two guys in the startup are discussing. So, how do we redesign our sales pitch for the product? I just replace all the crypto word with AI, and we are good, right? We can use the ones from 2 years ago. So, AI is selling everything, and people tend to believe that AI is going to solve all of their issues. The true thing is that AI is amplifying things. If you have chaos, it will amplify chaos. If your data, your structures, your procedures are not ready for AI, AI will only disturb you, only disrupt your operation, not help you. You don't know, and no one in AI space is going to guarantee you that the outcome of AI engine is true. No one can calmly sit in the self-driving car and say, I'm 100% sure that the car will find a way. It's, by the way, the autonomous cars in States are more popular because their way of painting the lines on the street are kind of consistent. If you go to any place in Europe, it doesn't have to be Budapest, it can be anything. They get confused, right? It's like, where is the line? Where is the street actually going? So, but that's example, right? That you have AI mechanism which is well trained on one data set, and you apply it to a different situation, and you don't know what is the outcome. Although also any AI scientist will tell you that if you train the artificial intelligence mechanism on small set, and it looks like a good thing, no one can guarantee how it's going to scale. The side effects of putting it to the full population are completely unpredictable. I was speaking with a guy who was doing kind of behavioral analytics and behavioral authentication for the banks. Pretty neat technology. And their fundamental problem was that they were able to hone the system, to tune the system very, very tightly on a small group of people. But when they published it to the big audience, suddenly the results were kind of unpredictable. So there are certain challenges linked with AI. And we're looking at things like black box processing. We don't know how really things are being processed by the AI engines. Well, go.
If I may, just one more example from our own kitchen. We recently redesigned the underlying database that we are using for partner portal for our partners. And we are using some sort of AI tool for that. We don't know with Michał exactly which ones, because that's the integrating partner who we're paying for to do it. They are using this. And the great idea was that we have to conserve the resources, and so the partners that are not using our portal, they are getting kicked away from it. The access is suspended for them. Maybe they are leaving the company, etc., etc. So they enable it on the portal. We basically immediately realized that many of our partners are constantly being revoked the access to our own portal after 2 days or so. Yeah, so I see some nodding people, you know, they know that's them. We don't know why. The integrator don't know why. There is some AI algorithm that is doing it for people in Hungary and in my country, in Czech Republic. They don't know what these people have in common, and they have to manually enabling them, and after 48 hours or so, they're just getting disabled. Something is happening. We need to find out. We will find out, but it's very problematic in terms of operating.
You know this case of AI hallucinations. If you do the ChatGPT thing, sometimes it's trying to answer things in very, very strange way. I wouldn't even say creative, right? Because it's still not creativity. But if you look at things like if you build the code automatically, if you do the data analytics from the business perspective automatically, you need to have mechanisms which are kind of verifying the accuracy of the outcome. But above all, since the mechanisms are kind of living their own life, it's not life, but behaving in this strange way, like Mirek said, you need to realize that before you kind of jump deep into this AI ocean, your data need to be prepared. You need to sort out this data, not only because the regulators are asking you to do, not only because you're afraid what will happen when the data breach is happening, also for the successful deployment of AI in your organization, you need to have clear clarity here. Now, another product that was announced a couple of days ago is called Forcepoint DSPM. That's one of those solutions on the lower end, diving into data security situation. We call it data security posture management. It's very similar. Again, I would refer to our colleague from Rapid7 a second ago. It's like comparing, scanning of your vulnerabilities to the vulnerability management, where you have like constant review of dependencies between the data, of the flows, of the changes over time. If suddenly today I'm sharing some information with Mirek, which I haven't been sharing before, it is automatically flagged as something abnormal, something new, something different than everything else. And you, as a supervisor of the data set, you can immediately pinpoint those situations when something changed from the previous. Someone opened the S3 bucket in AWS. Someone configured the new flow of information which was not present there. Again, to give you a funny example, 3 weeks ago, one of the banks in Finland, the Nordea Bank in Finland, they faced a major data access incident. What happened is that officially what they said was that we have updated our systems, and suddenly the access rights to different accounts kind of swapped. So I could see Mirek's account, Mirek could see Richard's account, and Richard could see Tamas' account. Suddenly, overnight. And you know who told them that this happened? Of course, the customers, right? They were so upset about it. They started calling, and Finnish people are very, very straight and direct in this situation. The consequences of mishandling the private data are very, very high and severe in Finland. They treat privacy very, very seriously. And it's usual. If you look at Verizon Data Breach Investigations report, it's usually not the company which is detecting that something happened. It's someone else coming. Tamas, your data is in the black market there. You know about it? Oh, I didn't know that. Now you know, now you have to act. So DSPM is kind of crawler that goes into your data system, whether it's on-prem, in the cloud, on your desktops, on your laptops, on your mobiles. And it's trying to figure out automatically, without any prejudice, any preset at the beginning, it's trying to find the dependencies, it's trying to also match and classify this information, match the rules against those international regulations, this cross-border data processing rules, and so on and so on. You will see those profiles like private data, which shouldn't be there, the rot data, the redundant, obsolete data. similar, related, all of those relations between information. That's very, very interesting view, which is immediately showing you what is actually happening. You think the procedure is like that, the actual procedure is very different. And you will see it immediately on the system. So mitigating risk of cross-border, deduplicating data, this is like immediately possible. But also, it's going to assist you in building the effective DLP policies. Because again, DLP, which you are going to see in the moment when Mirek is taking over, DLP needs clear rules. We say it's the data leakage protection, data leakage prevention, but what does it really mean? If I'm asking you, Richard, what is your let's say, concept of what is the sensitive information at Clico? Nearly all of our data. So does it mean that you can't send an email to me, right? Because if it's all data, you cannot send an email to me, right? The DLP should say, oh, you shouldn't be sending this. It's all confidential. It's an example because when you realize that you cannot put all the data and flag it, it's sensitive because you are blocking, right? Too much. You're over-blocking. And if you do that, the DLP system is very simple. You just unplug your devices and DLP is working. The smart DLP understands what is the context of the data. What is the context of information? This is suggested by the DSPM. Based on that, you can build efficient DLP policies, and then you can run it across different ways of processing information, whether it's web channel, desktops, servers, cloud applications, doesn't matter. You know what kind of information is actually sensitive. If you're sending me something sensitive about the partner, like information about the partner, if it's just one partner, it's a normal communication. If it would be 100 information about the partners, maybe this is a mistake, right? We are always assuming that people are good and it's just a mistake. Again, Verizon Data Breach Investigations report says it's 95% of cases people are just making mistake, right? It's not intentional thing. So it's a mistake, and the system should, like email should say, oh, Richard, are you sure you want to send this email? Because it's kind of too big, it's kind of too long, it's kind of too much information in one package. So, a couple of slides because I haven't got this, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not that lucky as Mirek. So a couple of slides how the interface is looking like. It's showing you those dependencies both from geographic perspective, application perspective, how the information is flowing. You see the exposure, you see who is doing what with the information. It's also flagging you all of those cases where you should take action. Why I'm showing it to you? Because this is all about data security, all about understanding what is your data processing mode, what is your posture. But then it's, of course, going into the workspace of the users. And here the solutions around SASE, SSE are kicking in, and you will see it as well in a moment. So how people are actually working with this data, and how we can tap into those places where they are actually working, and assist them to make this decision, like, are you really sure you want to have this email sent? Are you really, do you really want to go to this website and upload or download information? Do you really want to open this chat on LinkedIn and send this kind of package towards the other side? Again, assuming people are good and assuming that mistakes are the majority of the causes. So, converging those two worlds, the data security and let's say the access layer, we're bringing something which we call Forcepoint 1, the platform which is linking this understanding of the data with the different channels, whether it's cloud applications, web, private applications, custom apps that you're building and maybe maintaining all the time, storage, email, endpoints. Everything blending together under one single and simple set of rules, with one agent which is executing these policies. Again, understanding what kind of data needs to be protected in your system. Couple of scenarios, like risk adaptive protection that Mirek is going to show. That's very interesting stuff. Like again, adapting to the behavior of the people, if they are becoming aggressive, to tighten the policies. Being able to work with the cloud applications, with endpoints, and bring your own devices, so agentless, totally agentless. That's a super cool thing. web, so both for managed, unmanaged devices and managed, unmanaged applications, and of course email, which is still our base communication layer, and one single biggest channel of both infections and data leakage. Okay, who knows this guy? Means I'm very old. Yes, I am. That's Mikko Hyppönen, the guy who founded F-Secure in Finland. Again, Finland was appearing here. Mikko, he says data is not the new oil. It's running the world, but it's more like a uranium, because you need to secure the data, even if it's not directly in your possession. It's like uranium, you have to track it, you have to understand where it's going, and at which speed, and who is managing this stuff at this moment. So for the bank to understand, okay, I'm using the CRM system, but who is processing my data, where, and in which data center? What are the links between the data sets, and so on and so on. That's why a small gift, like premature gift to everyone. No, this one. This one is for your part. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the DSPM technology, you can have a free data risk assessment of your system. So like a DSPM snapshot of your system to understand what are those risks, what is the real stuff. It's like, again, it's like one-time scanning. It's not a full deployment of constant analysis, but at least you have this first view of what is happening. So I'm strongly encouraging to contact Tamás, Richard, or any of our partners that are working here on the Hungarian market, and to go through this data risk assessment. That's a very cool exercise to do. Doesn't last long. You have big insight into how you are actually operating. And thank you for that. I'm giving back to Mirek.
Yeah, I wonder how I will be doing it, because I need both hands.
So I will be screaming.
No, I'm holding.
No, you don't want to do that. No, it's okay. I can scream. I'm training on my kids every day. Just fine. All right. So I have something like 30 minutes of time. I don't think I have enough content to entertain you for 30 minutes. It's just after lunch. I understand. You saw me yawning here, so it was like, I understand it. But I will try to show you our new Forcepoint 1 data security. And we are doing DLP for 2000
Many years.
1, yeah, but even maybe longer. I've been in the company since 2008, and it was already a mature product when I was starting. So, yeah, I've been doing it a long time. But for the long time, I was always discussing with the people if we are about to move the DLP as a product into the cloud. Okay, and I was always having that idea that, probably the people, they can move there the email security, they can move there the web security, they can give a lot of data into the cloud. But maybe the idea that the most sensitive things that you have in your company, you are actually storing in the cloud as a incident, it's probably a little bit too far. Okay? But boy, times are changing. It's incredible what happened in the last 2-3 years with the perception of the people towards the cloud. I know the Eastern Europe is kind of conservative, exactly. So our approach is not really like very fast. It's in US, it's like, give me the cloud, it's cheaper, in a way. But for example, what happened in Ukraine, it very much accelerated the things. The whole Ukraine switched to the cloud within 3 months. Very quickly, because they understood that their data center is a big fat target for any Kinjal rocket, and once they hit it, no more data. And
in that case, you know, even the geo cluster doesn't help a lot. I was recently discussing with one of our customers, which is a Slovakian army, okay? And they have firewalls also. And the chief of security, colonel, doesn't matter name, he was asking me, when do you will have the management of the firewalls in the cloud? I was astonished. I was telling this story a couple of weeks ago here in the same room. But I was astonished if Army is looking for management of the firewalls in the cloud. What else is happening? You know? I was like asking, like, why? And he said, well, you know, we have 3 data centers. The Russians know where they are. It's just about GPS coordinates, you know. And when they will hit it, we have no IT. You know, within like 20 minutes of God forbidden this will happen. But yeah, that's what is going on. So we have this new product. We actually have it in our data sheet, price sheets. Since beginning of this year, we did some sort of soft launch. We were showing it to the customers somehow, but we really introduced it only this week on RSA conference. From now on, we are selling it globally to the customers, and we can actually show it. Okay. So what I'm doing now, I'm logging into the demo. It's a live demo, so if you can pray together with me for the speed of local Wi-Fi, it will be useful. So bear with me with some little of delays. It's not the fastest, but it should eventually work. So what we are going to do, I will just introduce you a little bit of what we are going to see. So now we can see some sort of dashboard. You know, a couple of lines. It's there's some echo. There's some echo. So I have here top risky users, and one of them is called student. So it's not Kurt student for those familiar with the World War II history. It's a user called student. And if I go to his details, the one interesting thing about this guy is this like 10 number. So this is his risk score. So this guy has risk score of 10, which if you are sitting in a bag, you definitely don't see it, but it says it's low. So the high is, it's go up to 100. Okay? So this guy has some score. This score is generated based on his activities. Okay? Depending on how he behaves versus the data versus his actions that he's doing. We are using something like, we call it indicators of behavior. So whatever he is doing on his computer may have some impact on this score. And this score has tendency to drop down in a time. So when I look on the details of this guy, I can see that May 6th, okay, so a couple of days ago, his score was about 80. It depends on settings, etc., but there is a tendency of dropping the score. And because I was not touching this user for last 3 days, that's his current score. So I have some information about what the user was actually doing during some recent times, what he was touching. It's not important. Let's say it's a standard person that is working in standard way. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to show you is his endpoint, the machine that he is using. And that will be, yeah, I wish to understand which one it will be. I can try to filter in the name of it. Let's say like this. The guy was idle or more that. Even that. I need to extend. It was in the morning, yeah. So he is offline, which is worrying me a little bit now. So let's hope it's fine. So this is his computer when is the endpoint installed. So how I know it is his computer, I don't really know it. I know that this is a computer that he was using, okay? And there is an endpoint installed on it, and the user is logged in to the console. So the endpoint knows who is logged in and reports this information. This is some sort of virtual machine, all the details about the machine. The third component of what we will be showing today is the policy. And I'm using not Hungarian-based policy, but Czech Republic. I apologize, but not this one, this one. We have in Czech Republic something we call birth numbers. So I got my number when I was born, and this number is my identifier throughout my life. And it is a sensitive information because of many reasons. You probably have similar. So I have this policy enabled, just looking for those kind of conditions, which is looking for different kinds and versions. We have two, etc., etc. And we are enabling it to some, as we call, destinations. So we are looking for any email movements or any web traffic happening, for potential printing operations, for storing to USB, for different applications, so let's say TikTok or Skype or whatever, or network sharing, like you are posting something on the SharePoint or similar. And for us, what is important is this kind of action, because that will be relevant on what we will be doing. So in this policy, I have enabled something which is called risk adaptive protection. Okay? So our DLP, you know that if you break something, you send more than 3 these numbers, you can block it, or you can report it, or you can just audit it. But if we will enrich that kind of things for this risk adaptive protection, we can have a different outcomes of the DLP based on the risk level of that person. So you remember this guy was on the low risk level. He was like having a 10 of his score. If he would be a medium risk level, I will not only audit his action, but I will ask for a confirmation. Okay? He needs to confirm me that what he is doing is really okay. And if he is any higher than that, I'm going to start blocking his actions. So same user, same data, different outcome depending. So that's our building blocks of what is going on. So now, that's the big part. I'm going to this remote viewer, which, with a bit of luck, looks like it may work, is my testing computer. You can see the student is the username. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so doing two things like talking and writing.
You can't stop. Because of the free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I need to shut up to be able to write. So we have this computer, and on this computer we have our agent installed. The agent contains several components. Okay? It takes some time until it queried, and what I have enabled are 3 things. It's a data protection, so DLP. I have some policy version here, it's 101. I have a device control, so basically understanding of what I'm plugging into the USBs, in short. and user activity monitoring, which is the risk adaptive stuff. So that's enabled. I don't have web control enabled, so I can download the porn without any problems. But I should not be able to upload the numbers. I don't know if
It's somehow linked, I don't know why.
yeah, it's a sort of thing. Okay, so I have this kind of setup. So what I'm going to do, I will connect a USB device. Okay, say it's connected. So if I do it like this, I'm disconnecting, and then I'm again connecting. I forgot to disconnect it. This activity was detected, and the agent detected that there was a USB plugged in. It's very much virtual, but the same action happening. And this is actually already reported. So when I go back to my GUI, I should see this user, student, still on 10, okay, nothing. But I should see that there is a USB access happening. The time is a bit skewed because it's somewhere in France, and you know, don't be pink about the times. But that's telling me that I already have some sort of things here. So going back to my user, I will remove this file. And as you remember, I have enabled these birth numbers. So I copied it here, and I copied it to this USB flash. Nothing happens. You know, absolutely normal things that are happening. Mind you, I saw that offline status worrying me a little bit. So I hope that I will come back. I will actually see these things really happen. If it not, I will go home. My train is leaving in like 45 minutes, and I can probably go home very quickly. Yeah, it says running, so it should be fine. So investigating this incident a little bit, I should get soon enough the incident being visible here. Okay, let's refresh. By the way, do you know Microsoft DLP? Do you? Some people saying yes. Do you know how long it takes to the Microsoft to have any changes applied? 30 to 60 minutes. Well, last time I was waiting 4 hours before my presentation to change the name of the user, like display name. 4 hours. I was up into 2 o'clock in the night in the hotel room, waiting for that change so I can record the video. It was not nice. Okay, so this thing should happen. I didn't see it yet, but let's try to do another try. There is a web page called DLP test where you can do the hosting stuff. What I'm going to do, I will just drag and drop this thing to the USB and upload it. Again, that was successful. Because the number, the risk number of this user was low. Actually, well, maybe yes. Thinking about his actual stuff. I remember very well about 12 years ago when I was on the McAfee presentation in Prague. when they were trying to do similar thing. You know, when we're trying to do in a full room of the people, trying to make their BLP running, and it was not. And it was fun. I don't know if bigger or smaller than now, but doesn't really want to talk to me. That's when you are trying to do it very quickly. And it always works, except when there's a presentation. Okay, so, because it's completely okay, you may be able text message, no? It just doesn't want to go. That's a shame. And it seems to be fine. Okay, one last try. I will change the policy. With this. Okay. So basically, if you know our BLP, you know that the concept is very much same. It's just the GUI is a bit different. So if I would like to change the policy, I can do a little change over here. I can say I can do the audit, save it. It will ask me to save. And deploy the changes. The changes are being deployed basically instantly, so there should be no big delay. So going back to my fancy not listening endpoint, I can do this change, wait for the refresh, and you can see that indeed there is 102, so the policy I did is already reflected in the endpoint. So it is within a couple of seconds. Okay? If I would not do the refresh, it would take a minute or two, but this refresh is speeding up. Oh, it communicates, just probably doesn't want to do what I want, because it understands what I'm trying to do. No, it just won't. Yeah, my train is waiting. Last attempt, and I will stop boring you with this attempt. That's why the colleagues always saying, like, do a recording, so you can pretend that you are doing it live and you are just talking and see, that's perfect. So those things are happening. So what should happen? Okay, these limits, these you know what? I do the what Microsoft is always advising. Shut your eyes, listen for the next 30 seconds to something pleasure. You know.
So I did a joke or something.
Joke?
Okay, let's do the because we brought the box, right? A question. Now you have to invent the question.
Yeah, so the question is, I have to pick something difficult, because if I will do an easy question, there will be like 20 people saying it, and I will have a hard time. Yeah, so difficult question is, all right, Michał was talking about our products, Forcepoint DSPM. Who knows what is the DSPM for?
Take
Yes. It's all yours. I'm happy I don't have to go to the back of the room. So
That was intentional.
yeah, thank you very much. You're very well played.
The pleasure.
I'm
It's a
afraid
little fan guy.
you are cooperating much better than my points. Okay, let's go back where we left off. Do an investigation of our students. Your students.
27.
Magic happens. Magic happened meanwhile. His score is different. The reason why it's different is that we uploaded this Czech Republic thing to the DLP, to removable storage, so the USB. Okay, and we also uploaded it to the web. So this is a little icon saying that's web connection requested, and here is the little icon saying the removable storage. So I have all these instances of the person like doing it. I go back to him, you know, and he will try to be a smart guy. So maybe he can do what he can do. He can do
Zipping.
no.
Zipping.
No.
When you zip it, Microsoft becomes blind. So I would zip it.
Microsoft see everything except sensitive data. No, you know what? I will do event viewer. So I will go to event viewer, and I will do I don't know, security lock, and I will be very clever, and I will clear the lock. Okay, so clearing the lock. Action is happening.
4 hours later.
It's a big lock, probably. So it takes time.
Few moments later.
I have to clear it. So no security locks anymore on this computer. Okay. So it was nasty thing from the end user. Let's see what we think about it. If the student has any sudden changes. Yay! It's a bad guy. Security event block cleared. You know how this could happen. You know that's not nice. But maybe it's not enough. You know, let's this one right again with dlptest.com. And let's do the HTTPS post, so I can upload this thing over here, submit it, say something, and I can do it. Yep. And I will open up again my USB. Upload it again. Doing a couple of things like that. My goal is to go somewhere with his score. Now this guy is becoming really troublesome. You know, he is doing all bad things. He's uploading these things to the USB and to the web. Now he is already medium. So, still talking about the same guy. Do you remember like how we are uploading this file to USB? We upload the file to USB. What is this? You know, it wasn't there before. The same guy, same USB, same data. Now he wants to say, it's required for business purposes. You know, I want to allow it. Being completed, it's okay, it's fine, it's no problem. it's fine. So let's continue a little bit. It's becoming boring. I know I should have more policies, definitely. Replace the file. Still working fine. Maybe I can try to this time I will just not upload the file, just copy paste this text. And usually I'm using my wife's work numbers. This is not hers. Yeah. And, already getting this kind of information, blocking pages. Like, I really want to. Come on, upload it. All works. What this thing is thinking about it? 61 already. We're getting there. Okay. I think it's 70. I'm not really sure what is the level. The problem is that because he was already being a little bit cheeky these 6 days ago, and his score dropped down, this automated way is making sure that the additional ramp up is not that steep, as he would be working on the basically level of low all the way. So that is a logic that is preventing you to do immediate spike. So when you do like 2 incidents out of the blue, you are spiked. But if you are working with sensitive materials, you are much more slower to going up. So there are some clever algorithms to preventing you to going quickly to this level. But you can see what is happening behind. So I will do 1, 2 times more. Okay, submit it. Okay. Lock it. Do some various things with it. Again. Okay. Move the file. Oh. Now it doesn't work at all. So the Forcepoint DLP was blocked for uploading the sensitive information. Do you remember, we have this risk adaptive, which was, and he was like high risk, he already was supposed to be blocked. And that's exactly what happened right now. So we basically moved this user from the very innocent levels to very high levels. Now he's on 72. Now he's a completely, somebody who every guy, security guy watching to the dashboard will see, gotcha. You have to explain a lot of things. So he will click on this student and immediately see like what he is doing. He will see all his history of the bad things. Not only data, but also these activities like clearing the logs, disabling the firewalls, copying the data, or sending email with the CV. There is like hundreds of indicators of behavior that has impact on the score of the user. So in the moment when he is getting to that levels, he is getting completely different handling. However, after a couple of days, his score will go down and he can continue working as normal. Or you can, of course, be very nice to him and he can maybe bribe you. He can call you, guys, close your eyes, you never see anything, please do it for me. And out of a sudden, this guy that used to be very, very tricky, and then you can still see some traces here. It's like something happens. But when I go back to this guy, and I will try to upload the file to USB. Yeah. Come on, delete this thing. Okay, because I have blocked access to USB stick. I need to remove the touch. Now I should be able to get the file. Still not. And it may take a while. This is a little bit trickier. Let's go here. ELP test. The last action that I will show you, because my time is over, my train is waiting, still blocked. But you know, I think it had to enforce and confirm by, I'm sorry, I have to confirm it by another manager. Stupid. Okay, no more time, you get the idea. The investigation of the users, but there is also investigation of alerts. So you can see that I was uploading those files. I was blocked. You can see the trace of the file. In this first version, we don't have the forensic storage, okay? Because it's in the cloud, we need to make sure that the data will be properly handled. So we will introduce bring your own key storage. So the data that normally you would in future release, you will see the file itself. So you can review what was inside the file. Even my colleagues say, "Wow, yeah, thank you." So you will have this information. Not now. Yeah. And there is some mute. I don't know how to do it. But that's all what I wanted to show you. So the message is we are now moving the data security into the cloud. We have the advanced we call it risk adaptive security. So those two things working together in our project. That's all I wanted to say today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much.